Good morning, everyone. I'm Kitty Benson, the minister here at Unity in Naperville. And once again, having the joy of being able to reach out to you through technology as we're not able to be in our building together for a while. And thankful to be here with our music and creative director, Kim-Char Meredith. Hey, how are you?
Hi, Kitty.
I
Hi,
can see
everybody.
you.
Good morning.
Good morning, and thanks to Parker Meredith for joining us on all the technology in the background
Yeah.
that's making this possible for us today. And thank you for making time to be with us today, because to me, this is what keeps us going through this very interesting period of time we're living through. One of the things that I came across this week, there's a lot of videos going around now online that are addressing this issue that we're experiencing with COVID-19 and isolation. And I wanted to share this one with you today that's called Never Lost. Parker, can we go ahead?
Was that a pivotal historical moment we just went stumbling past? Well, here we are, dancing in the rumbling dark, so come a little closer. Give me something to grasp. Give me your beautiful, crumbling heart. We're working every dread day that is given us, feeling like the person people meet really isn't us, like we're gonna buckle underneath the trouble, like any minute now the struggle's gonna finish us. And then we smile at all our friends. Even when I'm weak and I'm breaking, I start weeping at the train station, 'cause I can see your faces. There is so much peace to be found in people's faces. I love people's faces.
Very touching. And I just want to take some time this morning to allow ourselves to move into a quiet, peaceful place where we make our own connection with each other and with the Spirit of God. So I'm going to invite you to just take the next 15 minutes with me to close your eyes. And this is really the sacred time, the sacred experience that counts, is when we find our own intimate connection with the Spirit of God. And so if you will just allow your thoughts to come into the center of your being, feel yourself connected from a heart space, as if there is a door in your heart that is opening now, where you are completely joined with that presence and power of love, of light, and of peace. Let's breathe in that presence of God. As we feel our whole being relaxing, purposely choosing to let the tension go, giving ourselves permission to be here now, releasing any thoughts of later today or yesterday, and just being present in our chair, feeling it supporting us as our body relaxes from the top of our head all the way down to our toes. Let's just take a moment to do that in silence, completely relaxing the body. And as we take another deep breath, feeling that presence of God's life moving in and through our body, We give thanks to know that in the midst of all that is going on around us, God's perfect life, God's healing power, God's vibrant energy and vitality is present here, now within us. We can never be separate. Take a moment to feel God's life energy within you. We can relax in the knowing that this divine intelligence is guiding our entire body, instructing it to do its right and perfect work, always returning it back to its natural state of well-being. Just knowing that that presence of life is within us. Feel that beautiful golden light pouring through each person on this planet as we are alive and alight with the life of God. That healing energy is rising up in every cell, restoring and refreshing. Energizing, renewing, perfect life brings every cell to its natural state of well-being. The healing presence dissolves anything unlike itself. And in this beautiful presence of God, we know that we are safe and protected, that the light of God surrounds us. It infills our being. It raises us up. that our planet is coming back to life again, that the human collective is finding its footing, strong and healthy, in the light of God. We see the prosperity of God flowing freely through our lives, where every need is met. We feel a sense of joy and relaxation, that the only presence and power in our life is that of God, that of good. With our thoughts on God, we give deep thanks, knowing that there is nothing that can work against us and interfere with our connection to Spirit. There is only one power, one presence in the universe. And in our own lives, it is the all-loving goodness of God. And so we breathe that sense of thanks, that sense of renewal, with a faith that knows that life is returning, that abundance is flowing, that peace is filling our beings, that wisdom is guiding our minds, that divine ideas are making themselves known. And we feel that sense of allowing, for it is the Spirit of God that does the work. As we say, yes, thank you. Just hold that thought in your mind for a moment. Yes, thank you for the good. We feel the chair supporting us and the room around us. We take another deep breath as we open our eyes, and we speak our invocation together, those words that remind us of this truth, that deepen our connection to the everywhere present Spirit of God. On your screen, let's speak these words together. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. So it is. Amen. I'm going to ask Kim-Char to come back with us.
Hi, everybody.
Would you like to share some music with us today?
Absolutely. I say we all sing together. And I have to. I don't know if you know it, Kitty, when you're in the middle, when you were in the middle of everything. We had a few technical glitches there. But what I love about that, everyone, is that it just shows us again that we are not connected by a Zoom call. We're not. We're connected by Spirit.
Yes.
And it's within that Spirit. That's the mightiest Zoom call of all. We're connected always in Spirit, living in the very heart of God. You ready to sing?
Yes.
Let's do this.
You should know this song. We sing it quite a bit at Unity. All connected, living in the heart of God. Here we go. Nothing is ever lost, and we are not forgotten. We are living in the heart of God. Nothing is ever lost, and we are not forgotten. We are living in the heart of God. We are living. We are living. We are living. We are living in the heart of God. Yes, we are. We are living. We are living. We are living in are not forgotten. We are giving in the heart of God. We are giving, we are giving, we are giving in the heart of God. We are giving, we are giving, we are giving in the heart of God. Let's go back. And nothing is ever lost, and we are not forgotten. We are living in the heart of God. Nothing is ever lost, and we are not forgotten. We are living in the heart of God. Sing it with me. We are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God. Yeah, we are living, we are living, we are living in the heart of God. Declare that with me. We are living in the heart of God. Never lost. We are living in the heart of God. Yes, 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 we are.
Yes, now and always, now and always. Thank you for that. We needed to hear that today. Nothing is ever lost. You are never lost. Spirit always knows right where we are because Spirit is us. We are one, can never be separate. You know, I was, when I was a kid, I loved to watch Little House on the Prairie, the story of Laura Ingalls Wilder's life. And this was the part of her life where they lived out in the Midwest, and her dad was a farmer, and they lived miles from the nearest neighbor. There was a lot of distance between them. And yet it was weird. It was like if somebody had a need, you just knew. Word got out. People showed up. They brought food or comfort or helped to rebuild your barn if it blew down in a storm. I mean, it was amazing how people were connected, even though they were miles apart. And, you know, when a traveler would come by, they'd always just run out and have a conversation, or you pass somebody on a road, hadn't seen anybody for miles, and you stop and talk. You want to know what's going on. How's their life? What did you see? Where have you been? And strangers weren't strangers. They took the time to be with each other. They hungered for that connection to close the space between them. And if you fast forward, you know, to the 21st century, we've had a few modifications to that so that now our neighbors can be inches apart. I mean, I've seen the way that housing can literally be that you can barely fit a body between the two houses. And for those of in multiple dwelling spaces, whereas, you know, someone of their family might be just on the other side of the wall from you. And that experience that we've had has caused us to kind of separate ourselves little by little. We've pulled ourselves apart. You know, we found a way to be in a car instead of in an open carriage, so we can drive without having to talk to each other. We can pull into our garage without ever getting out of our car and seeing someone. We come inside where there's heat and air conditioning, so we don't have to have our windows open. We keep our shades drawn a lot of the time. Somebody knocks on the door, don't answer it unless you were expecting them. And that distance between us, we feel is necessary because we're so close that we don't want people invading our lives. So if you're outside the home and you can't separate yourself from other human beings, especially in highly populated areas, we tend to distance ourselves by looking away from each other. Have you ever noticed that? You can pass somebody on the sidewalk and never exchange a glance, or just kind of put on that air of unattainability. You don't want to appear that you might need something, or just be as self-sufficient as possible. Don't let anyone invade your space. And these invisible walls are slowly but surely going up between us. Even when we're with people that we know and love, we can go to dinner, have them right there across the table from us, and yet separate ourselves with a phone that we get busy with. Or we're on the phone, but we're also busy checking email at the same time. Or we have the kids in the back seat, but we turn on a DVD. So we're always finding ways to separate ourselves. And it's interesting to see us resisting this forced isolation right now, because we have been preparing for this for decades, maybe even a century or more. Little by little, we're cutting ourselves off. And now that we've been given this order of staying at home, now for another month at least, our walls are going up higher. And they're telling us that the distance between us is what's going to keep us safe. And that may be true physically, but not emotionally, not heart to heart. And yet we're taking this experience and could potentially create a prison for ourselves of our own making. Because there's stuff going on in our head about this that says, you know, what have I got to offer? If I purposely reach out to somebody right now, you know, what's in me that they care about? Or maybe what's in them that I care about? Maybe I'm more superior in some way. There's, you know, the fear that if I do reach out, they might make demands on me, you know, that I don't want to give, or what will I say, or what will they say? And will I be invading their space? Will I feel like I'm intruding or overstepping the boundaries here? But, you know, we're at a time right now in our history, the history that you and I have known, where we've never had this experience before. Every person on the planet is going through the same crisis at once. I don't know of a time when we've done that before. And I think because of that, this true human hunger in us, which I think is really there all the time, if we would let it come up in us, that hunger to connect is really starting to make itself known. I don't know about you, but I want to know what other people are going through. I want them to know what I'm going through. I want to make sure that we're having the same experience, that I'm not alone in this. I want the experience of kindness in my life. I want to feel like people still care about me, that they're going to offer me some assurance of some kind, or that I'll feel valued. There's going to be generosity offered to me. That's what the human being wants in a time like this. And yet we've got these walls between us. What is there to hold us together? What was your first thought? Probably technology. Right? It's the one thing that's making it possible for us to still see each other, talk to each other like we're doing right now. I mean, I know way, way back when kids wanted to talk to each other and they didn't have a cell phone, they had two cans and a string, but they had to be at least as close together as the string would reach. Today, here I am in my home. There you are in your home. Obviously, no string that we can see that's connecting us. And yet you can hear me. You can perhaps even see me or feel the emotions that I might be feeling. And even though we're miles apart, these radio waves, these invisible waves that are flying through the air, is making it possible for us to connect. And, you know, we've already witnessed just here this morning that we can interfere with that connection. The flip of a switch, or, you know, these waves can be interfered with other Wi-Fi signals that are coming online and getting in the way. Or maybe somebody runs a microwave oven, or you're sitting down in a basement right now with a cement wall that's making it hard to feel the connection of the live stream. Or, you know, how many of you have been on a call that the call got dropped and suddenly there's just silence? So these aren't perfect methods to stay in communication. We actually can use them as a tool, but not only does a tool fail sometimes, it never is in charge of delivering the warmth of the connection. We need something else that will help us cross this space between us. What might that be? I hope right now you're thinking the Spirit of God. That's the presence that is truly between us, filling the space between us. We talked last week about how that presence that's everywhere is the love that we're seeking right now. It's a conscious love that sees you, that loves you, that accepts you for who you are, that wants your good for you, that's actually working for your good if you will let it. That presence between us that's filling the space is the light energy that becomes a substance that we can use for our resources. And we talked about that spiritual energy being available to us to supply every need as we're going through this process. It's also the divine mind that we dwell within. So it may seem like there's a space between us, but there is a constant feeding of ideas and creativity and solutions, intelligence, if we will just simply open up to it and receive it. That is what is in the space between us, between our thoughts, between our bodies. God is the space between us and within us, and it always has been. So knowing that, we wonder why there still seems to be lack and limitation in our life. And I would just say that the one thing that can interfere with that connection, I mean, truly, that presence and power is beyond distance. It's beyond microwave ovens. It's beyond cement walls. But something can interfere with our connection to spirit, and that's our thoughts. Not that the spirit goes away because of our thoughts, but we are just not open and receptive to all that the Spirit of God has to give us right now. Our thoughts can be like kryptonite. It can interrupt that flow of the infinite possibilities of God. If we are holding on to ideas right now of, I'm separated, I'm alone, I'm in trouble, what if? Or if we resist this need to stay at home, or we feel this sense of withdrawal coming upon us, or depression, those are the kind of thoughts that keep us from accessing that spiritual presence. And if we want to truly experience the love right now of God and the wisdom of God, I will remind you again of something that Eric Butterworth has said, that God can only do for us what God can do through us. And it begins with how we are viewing this situation. We have this giant need right now to feel supported, and even more so to support others. And Spirit is right here with the resources to be able to do that. The question is, are we going to clean up the airwaves of our consciousness so that we can get a full-blown stream of that love and wisdom moving through us that we can then send out to cross that social distancing? The problem is we've had years of practice of social distancing, and this requires some conscious attention, some willingness, some effort. Now, if you kind of like this whole being alone thing, you might be wondering right now, what's in it for me, Kitty? What good does it do me to reach out to other people? They've got their houses, they're being taken care of. They probably got family members looking in on them. They don't really need me. What's in it for me? Well, I'm pretty sure that if you pay attention to studies, at least in my lifetime, I've heard over and over again, that this experience of social isolation actually adds to disease in the body. So here we are already faced with an illness that's crossing the globe. The thing that we need right now is health, not more sickness. But it's true that social isolation is what brings on heart disease, backaches, depression, a feeling of memory loss or sleep disturbance, because we have isolated ourselves from one another, especially for the elderly. They need that contact every day, but all of us need that refreshment of experiencing other people's emotions and other people's points of view, and feeling that stimulation of being around other people in order to nourish us. You've probably also heard that babies who are born premature, if they're not touched and connecting with other human beings, their fatality rate is much higher. So this is an opportunity for us to see that what's in it for me, your well-being will deteriorate without making an effort to stay in social contact with one another. But more than what's in it for me right now, I want you to just ask this question: what's in me for others? What's in me for others? Up on the screen, I hope that's up there for you to be able to see, just to compare. The human ego goes with what's in it for me. The spirit knows what's in me for others. I want that one to just sink into you today, and let that be kind of a driving force for you to realize that if you are going to cross this space and connect with others, it's going to require giving of yourself. Giving, not just receiving. Jesus told us that the measure you give will be the measure that you receive. And with Spirit here in this space between us, there will always be love. But in order for us to experience that love, we can only know it by giving it. That's how the energy is felt in our own being as we're sharing it with others. I'm asking you to take responsibility to be a presence of love for other people during this time of isolation. Felicia Searcy wrote a book called Do Greater Things, and she was saying that a young man asked Mother Teresa how to help her with her mission. She told him that the best way to serve was to go out in the streets and find someone who was alone and disenfranchised. And here it is. Convince her that she mattered. There's an assignment for you. What can you do? What can you give? Who can you be for others to convince them that they matter? Now, I know we can't go in the streets, as Mother Teresa suggested, but here's an opportunity to use your technology for good. If you've got a phone even and a phone number, you can call this person and offer them support and nurturing for their own upliftment. You know, we use technology so much to serve and entertain ourselves, but you know, if you've got FaceTime and so does someone else, if you've got email, if you've got chat opportunities, you might even get out a piece of paper and write a letter. I will tell you that people of my mother's generation, people who are probably in their 70s and older right now, they like letters. They like cards. They like to hear from you. They want to know that they're not alone, but they don't want to have to turn something on to get that. My mother is thrilled to get a card, and she will read it over and over and over again. So think of that. And you know what? When you are out and making those very rare trips to the grocery store, it might just be that you just have to make eye contact with someone and smile or say hello. I mean, I was at the store for my once every 2-week visit yesterday, and I was crossing the parking lot and a gentleman was coming towards me, and I could just feel him edging away, making sure that when we passed, we were at least 6 feet apart. And I just purposely looked his way and said, hello. And it was like, what? Did I hear something? This person is talking to me? Oh, and then connected and smiled, and you could feel his energy raise. That's what you can bring. How simple is that? That we make an effort with something simple. I know that many of us wonder, what in the world will I say, you know, to these people if I pick up the phone and call? I'm not a conversationalist. Okay, well, here's what I want you to do then. Start in meditation. You got time on your hands, I'm sure. Close your eyes, get quiet, connect with the Spirit of God. Feel that presence of love in the room with you. Feel that very heart and mind of God focused only on you in this moment, completely aware of who you are and what your needs are, accepting you for who you are. God is seeing you and wanting your good and working for your good. Just rest in that for a few moments. And then you might take some time to feel grateful for what you have in your life right now, the good that has passed through your life. And take some time to think about the people that you care about in your life, or some beautiful places in nature that you've been, and just allow that appreciation to warm your heart. When you're in that state of mind and heart, you are one with God. And now you can be open and receptive as you ask this simple question: Spirit, who should I contact and how? What is needed right now from me? What's in me for others? Now, I know that some of us have an anxiety around connection. I want to share a story just to kind of put things in perspective. This is from Piero Ferrucci in his book, The Power of Kindness. He said, take a friend of mine, Judy. She's an eccentric in whom stranger anxiety appears to be totally absent. In any situation, walking down the street, sitting in a restaurant, she will in no time at all start a conversation with anyone. One day she was standing in line at the bank, and the man in front of her is contorting in an attempt to try to reach his back to scratch it, and was having no success. He just couldn't reach the spot. Judy notices and offers help. Excuse me, would you like me to scratch your back for you? That might be a little bit outside of the box. And obviously, we shouldn't be scratching anyone's back right now unless they're within our own home. And I'm not asking you to do that. So take a breath, be relaxed, feel good about the fact that I'm not asking you to go out and scratch people's back. It doesn't have to be that hard, but I want you to think for a minute, how do you feel seen by others? I've got some ideas up here on the screen that you might be able to relate to. I know that I'm seen, that people are really connecting to me when they're listening to me. I can tell they're listening. They're nodding, or they're maybe repeating back what I just said or commenting on what I said. So now I know they're listening to me. Or someone will say something that they appreciate about me, or comment on something that I did well. I feel seen when that happens. I feel seen when I'm sharing something and they offer to help me. You know, if I'm going through some kind of struggle, they're reaching out and saying, what can I do? How can I help? So those ideas that you need to feel seen are the things that you can do for others to help them feel seen. To just, how are you? And then listen. You don't even have to fix anything. Just simply be present for them, reflect back what they're saying, what they're feeling. And then, you know, just think about the things that you appreciate about them and share it with them. And if they're struggling in some way, and you know what, even if they haven't shared a struggle with you, here's what I'm going to ask you to do is, in every connection with another person, please include this one. Do you need anything? I know that, you know, the human ego in us says, but what if they ask something of me that I don't want to do? I'm just going to offer that this is your chance to stretch a little, to let your true spirit express through you. Because God can only do for us what God can do through us. Do you need anything? Trusting that the Spirit of God is going to help you help them in some way. Now, if you really want to stretch this exercise of connection and crossing this space between us, why don't you think of someone that you tend to resist in life? It might be somebody that hurt your feelings. It might be somebody that you just think is a little bit weird, that you don't really connect with, but could use some connection. Stretch yourself and reach out to them. And I know that as you offer your compassion to them, as you are just a patient, listening, understanding presence for them, they're going to get that. They're going to notice, hey, I'm important to this person. I'm present in their lives. They see me. They're here just for me right now. And it's going to make them feel like they matter. It's going to raise up their energy. They're going to feel like, life is better than it was a minute ago. And as you're touching their life, you're absolutely contributing to the collective consciousness. It will be felt. I can tell you that when this whole coronavirus started, and it started to take hold in a big way, I could feel the energy of the collective consciousness in my own being. And in the same way, as we start to contribute to the collective consciousness with compassion and listening and caring and letting people know that we see them, that is going to contribute to the collective. It's going to raise our energy. Piero Ferrucci said that whether we're introverted or extroverted, an open contact is a richer and more promising way to approach our relationships. Open contact, he says. It's an attitude in which the other is seen as a window to a new world, a way for us to grow. It creates a field where insight and transformation occur. The avenue through which comes fulfillment. Fulfillment, that's what we need right now. If your faculty of contact is alive in you, possibilities are ignited you never knew existed. Energy circulates, a new world is opened, and life is just more fun. That's what can happen when we take responsibility for reaching out to other people. There is such proof that it raises our energy. Studies have been shown that not only when you offer kindness to another is the receiver uplifted, but the giver of that kindness is uplifted. And anybody who witnesses that act of kindness is uplifted. We all are affirming our value. We're all recognizing that our presence matters when we share this contact between us that's creating the surge of well-being, which is exactly what our bodies need right now to raise our healing energy in our body, is to keep this contact going. We're craving, at some level, we're craving to cross this space, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally. And as we do that, we're evolving our consciousness, because it is truly the Spirit of God that is expressing through this loving connection. And that is what is raising our consciousness to a higher level, to where we really start to put our life in perspective, to where we really start to understand the meaning of life and the joy of life, that it's through connection. And I'm just thinking that that may be what this is all about. And I'm not just talking about the pandemic. I'm talking about what life is all about, is connection, support, compassion, being present as the face of God for one another. It's something that was written in a song by Denise Rosier. She said that love is alive in the space between us. And that's when we know it, is when we choose to take responsibility in this time to be the face of love for others. And that's when I think our new unity mission statement will come alive here, where we truly know that we are a vibrant, inclusive community, not only for personal growing, but for the joyful knowing of our oneness with spirit and with each other. That's what this time can be used for, is to an awakening of our oneness. Will you take a breath with me and let's take some time in prayer. Loving Spirit, everywhere present, we take this moment to feel your love, to feel its harmonizing power working not only in our bodies for our good, but crossing this space between us with love and light. We open our hearts and minds to this space that is filled with divine wisdom and creative ideas. We open our hearts and minds to this space that is filled with life energy, with renewal, with perfection and wholeness. We open our hearts and minds to this space between us and the love that is there, not only seeing the good in us, but working for our good and calling us into being a presence of good for others. We say yes to that spirit. I am willing to be alive with the love of God. I am willing to be alive with the love of God. This is the power, the divine qualities that are present in us and around us now. This is the truth, and so we let it be. Amen. I'm going to take a moment to invite you to join with me in a time of sharing your offerings, your tithes and your love offerings with your unity community. It's an opportunity to be the presence of love for the people that are connected with you right now through the ethers and through the heart of God, that as we give of our resources, we are giving more of God. And as those resources go out from us, they're actually filling this space between us and allowing this message to expand and go beyond just the four walls that we're sitting within. We have an opportunity to bless this offering this morning and truly empower it to be infinite in its work. There should be words up on the screen for this blessing. If you'll say it with me together: divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am grateful. There should be a button at the bottom of your screen that allows you to donate online. There's also a way that you can mail your offerings to Unity in Naperville. The address should be on your screen, which is P.O. Box 9733, Naperville, Illinois, 60567. So I wanted Kim-Char to come on and just share a little bit with us now about this awesome video you are about to see. I mentioned Denise Rosier earlier, a lyric from her song. Kim, can you tell us more about this?
Our friend Denise Rosier had sent out a packet of information, maybe about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, for the song Between Us, inviting all churches, any church really, to have a shared activity and a shared experience around it. And we, you know what? We took her up on the offer, right?
Yes.
And so this past, it's really been intensely for this week. We put the call out for all of us here at Unity in Naperville to submit photos of ourselves with our families. Part of the packet was a coloring page that Denise sent out. So we invited people to download that and color to their heart's content and send that in. And you know what? Just for the fun of it, I also sent out a call for anyone who wanted to sing along to the song to record a vocal and just send that in. So we got so many pictures, so many coloring pages that you'll see now in this video. And we had one person take us up on the vocal. One person, and she nailed it, blew it up, just blew me away. Our friend Leilah sang a vocal and sent it in. So this is kind of like a solo, Kitty.
Good job.
It's a Leilah Siegel solo with all the beautiful art from our community. So here's the video of all that we did together this past week as a community.
Love is alive in the space between us. Feel that love right now. God speaks out in the words between us. Hear those words right now. I am holy. You are holy. There is beauty between between us.
So Kim and I just wanted to sit here side by side here for a minute, Parker, if you can bring Kim in, and we're going to talk a little bit quickly about some things that are coming up this week online. First of all, Easter week. We're in Easter week. Can you believe it? This is the first time in my life where I've been relegated to my home to do Easter, but I'm really hoping that you'll plan on joining me starting on Friday night with a very unique Good Friday service where I'm going to ask you to bring your own bread and wine for the communion service, or water or juice or whatever you want to bring. It'll only be a half an hour. It's just going to be a very low-key, beautiful time together as we look at the metaphysical interpretation of Good Friday and what that might mean for each one of us. And then on Sunday, next Sunday, is Easter Sunday. Eternally Easter is our theme, and it will be a time for us to remember that the whole idea behind Easter didn't just happen once, that it's continually happening, and not just for Jesus, but in each one of our lives. So I hope that you'll make time to be back here at 10:45 next Sunday. I'm starting a new class this week on Tuesday on the Wayne Dyer book, Wishes Fulfilled. We can still mail you a copy if you hurry up and register online. Go to our website, unityinnaperville.org, and order the book. We'll mail it to you. It should get there in hopefully 3 or 4 days. So Tuesday night, it starts at 7 o'clock as a webinar. So go to Unity Community, actually start at unityinnaperville.org, right, Parker? Okay. And there will be a link there. Or if you register, I will find out who's coming to the class ahead of time, and I can also make sure that you know how to get in. But it's going to be an awesome class that happens both Tuesday night and repeated again Saturday morning at 9:30. And then it's going to happen every other week that week. So this coming week, it's Tuesday night at 7 and Saturday morning at 9:30. Go to our website to find out how to order and stay connected. You don't have to order the book if you don't want to, but there's going to be different ways that you can connect with that. And then also our prayer chaplains are back to offer a prayer conference call again through Prayerful Connections. That's actually happening tomorrow at kind of at the noon hour. It starts at 11:45 a.m. There's a phone number on your screen that you can call the conference call. So you don't need a computer, you don't need an internet connection. Just jot these numbers down. It will also be on our website, unityinnaperville.org, as a way to find out what the phone number is and what the access code is. And the prayer chaplains will be praying with you and giving you a chance to just connect with each other and see how things are going and get a little bit of inspiration. So 11:45 tomorrow morning for that. Kim, what's happening at lunch this week?
Lunch Together Online happens every Tuesday and Thursday at noon, and we go to about 1 o'clock. And if you can drop in for 15 minutes or 5 minutes or stay the whole time, it'll be wonderful. And essentially, we all bring our lunch to the table and we connect with one another. It's all about that contact, right, Kitty?
Right, exactly.
All about contact. And I will say this, I don't know, that Tony Pignato, the last lunch he brought was a grilled salmon, asparagus, and baby new potatoes.
Oh.
And my ham sandwich paled together. So be prepared to kind of look on the other screens and get hungry from what other people prepare. It's fun, though. It really is fun. And it sort of initiated this week a banana bread bake-off. That's another story. But join us at Lunch Together Online.
Awesome. I love that. I'm not a salmon fan, so that would not have bothered me at all.
It looks so good.
And then somebody else is having something midweek at lunchtime. Do you know about this one with Sharon?
Yes, I believe it's called Be Inspired.
And Inspire Others. Just
That's
like
right.
what we talked about today.
That's right. It goes back and forth. Be Inspired, Inspire Others. It's a new channel on Unity Community Connect. And I think this one, Kitty, is about getting together and even talking a little bit about what happened during Sunday's message.
Okay, good.
Right? And
yeah, this would be a good time for you guys to connect with each other and just see how you have been connecting with each other, or ask each other for suggestions about how you can connect with other people as we're staying at home. Sharon's leading that at noon on Wednesdays. So bring your lunch and chat for a while and just see if there's some ways that you can deepen your understanding of what we talked about today.
Yeah.
And what else? You want to kind of help us go through this plethora of events we have coming up? Where do we actually access? What's the best way to access the information?
There's so much that if we tried to list it every single Sunday, as we have in the past, it would take 20 minutes. Your best bet is to go to unityinnaperville.org. Let that be the place you always start, unityinnaperville.org. And at the top menu, you'll see a button or a tab for events. If you want to know what's going on, click that. It will take you to the events calendar. And as you look at the calendar, you can scroll through, click on an activity that piques your interest, and all the information about it will be right there, including links to event page information and links to the video chats that we have for a lot of the online events now.
Great. That's great. And we wanted to kind of reenact our first Sunday of the month happening that we normally do in our Unity space by honoring our birthdays for April. So
happy birthday.
Yeah, and next Sunday is my birthday. I'm so excited. Baby, yay! And it's landing on Easter this year, so that's really special.
Wow, that is special. And can I say, actually today, our soloist, Leilah Siegel, today's her actual birthday.
Yay, happy birthday, Leilah.
Happy birthday. Yay.
Yeah, thanks for sharing your music with us. So if it's your birthday today, there's a comment box down below. So feel free to drop in a comment that I should ask Parker. Is there a comment box below?
Oh yes, we do have the live stream chat box underneath the video on the live stream page at Unity.
Okay, so
put there.
So let us know that way if you see the chat box that it's your birthday today. But let's just trust that we're all connected in spirit right now, and we are feeling all those April babies. We're feeling our hearts connected with you. Kim, let's sing.
Hey, everybody.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear friends. Happy birthday to you.
Last thing before we finish with our closing affirmation, that I want to put the text phone number up on the screen between now and the end of our time together today. If you want to text in a question about something that happened today or a comment about the service, go ahead and send it to that number you see on the screen. You can text 630-793-0993. And I'll get that here and read those out to you after we're done here today and see if I can answer anything for you. Or if there's a comment box on your live stream screen down below, feel free to type it in there, and hopefully Kim or Parker will be able to let us know what it says. Yeah? Nod your head if that's true. Anybody? Okay. I'm making the stuff up as I go along. Okay. Here's our closing affirmation today, and then Kim's going to lead us in one more song. I just love this picture of the elderly couple where one is helping the other. And it's just imagine, it does not have to be someone that you know right now, but that this kind of care and attention and support is needed by everyone on the planet. What's in you for them? Let's just ask ourselves this week. And let's say this together up on the screen. Love is alive in the space between us if I allow it to be. Kim, let's sing that perfect song that you've got ready for us.
Okay, here we go.
It's a
song that we all know.
I think. If you've been going to Unity for a while, you'll know this. Sing along. I see no separation when you are my meditation. All times may I rest in this truth. You are always in me. I am always in you. Let's sing that again. I see no separation separates me from the love of God. Nothing separates me. Oh, nothing separates me from the love of God. It's true, you are always in me. I am always in you. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I see. Let's sing it. I see no separation when you are my meditation. All times may I rest in this truth. You are always in me. I am always in you. Ah, here we go. Nothing separates me from the love of God. Nothing separates me. Oh, nothing separates me from the love of God. It's true, you are always in me. I am always in you. Nothing separates me from the love of God. Nothing separates me. Oh, nothing separates me from the love of God. Yes, it's true. You are always in me. I am always in you. Nothing separates us. Nothing. There you go.
Love that song. And you know what? I got to say this. I think that was one of the first songs that you when you came to Unity in Naperville, you were so excited to be part of the music, and you came over to my house to kind of share who you were. And you had actually written that song, I think, from a message that I had done just previously.
I did.
And so that was one of the first original songs I'd heard from you. And guess what? That, well, it didn't actually happen early on in our making, but it just reminded me that this past week has been our 13th anniversary as Unity in Naperville. So lots of beginnings here in our service today. Happy anniversary, everybody.
Happy
Thanks for being part of our
anniversary.
Unity
Happy
family.
anniversary, Kitty.
Yeah, this is awesome.